is it possible for a kingdom or a country or an empire to be very strong and not have expansionist tendencies? Are you aware of any such rulers in history who became very powerful but never expanded beyond the borders they inherited? Interesting question. And yeah, so the point is this: there have been examples of kingdoms and empires that have not been expansionist. So one example I can think of is the Ming dynasty in China. So this was 1300s to about 1600s. Okay, the Ming dynasty, and this is the dynasty that built the Wall of China, the Great Wall of China, or at least it aggressively expanded the Wall of China. I'm not sure who initially built the beginnings of the Great Wall of China, but the Ming dynasty, uh, it rebuilt the Wall of China and fortified it considerably. So the Ming dynasty essentially was a successor of the Yuan dynasty, the dynasty of Shri Chinggis Khan, who had conquered China, and it was ruled by later. It was later ruled by Shri Kublai Khan. Uh, so the successor dynasty was the Ming dynasty, and they became quite powerful, but they never expanded. They fortified the Wall of China and they rebuilt it. So they were kind of they did not want to expand. They wanted outsiders to stay out. So that's an example of a strong, a pretty powerful country or empire, because it was an empire, the Ming dynasty, which did not have expansionist tendencies. Isn't that interesting? Now, next to China, east of China, we have Japan. So, Japan, for a long period of time, had this isolationist policy under the Tokugawa shogunate, which is 14th century to 19th century. And the Tokugawa shogunate ends with the Meiji Restoration, which totally transformed Japan. So during the Tokugawa shogunate, that period of time, Japan was quite powerful, but they prioritized internal order and peace and prosperity, and they did not want to interact with the outside world. So they closed off the country. They limited foreign influence as far as possible, foreign uh, contacts as far as possible, and Japan remained a closed country, kind of like, well, not like North Korea. It was very different, but yeah, closed off to the rest of the world, despite being a pretty powerful country militarily. So that's an example. I can give examples of the Byzantine Empire. Switzerland is an example. Switzerland, the Swiss Confederacy, 16th, 15th century onwards, was pretty strong for its well known for its military strength. Swiss mercenaries were highly sought after in Europe. So the Swiss had a strong military, but the Swiss focused on being defensive and they focused on being neutral. So the Swiss are renowned for being a neutral country. So the Swiss never, ever thought about territorial expansion. So I'm sure there are more examples. I mean, we are an example, aren't we? I mean, when, let's say, Emperor Ashok conquered the whole subcontinent, he could have gone beyond the subcontinent. He certainly was powerful enough to do that. He was he was militarily really powerful, probably the most powerful military in the world at the time, during Ashok's time. But once he had the entire subcontinent under control, under his governance, he said that's enough for me. Now I'm going to focus on governance, and he did not expand beyond the subcontinent. So there are many examples like this, and there are many various reasons uh, why empires sometimes choose not to be expansionist. Multiple reasons. Each example I've given had different reasons. Probably the Ming dynasty, they were trying to they had these memories, very recent memories of the Mongol occupation, and they did not want to get entangled with foreigners again. So that's why, because of the trauma that China suffered under the Mongol occupation, maybe that's why they became defensive in nature despite being powerful militarily. The Japanese had probably a different set of reasons, and so on.